We're doing. Currently, we are in, and I'm talking like people out there in the interwebs have no idea what we're doing. So currently, we are here in WEB200 Theory Web Design at Seattle Central Community College. Sorry, Seattle Central College, not Community College. And we are talking information architecture, where we are going to be running an exercise up on the whiteboard with Post-it notes. Currently, those of you watching right now can't see the camera and the board, so you can't see what's going on the board right now, but you will here in a second. So here's what we're going to be doing in this class, in this exercise. Basically, information architecture. From a user perspective, we're going to have a list of questions that you see right here. So this is a demo example from a previous class. From a top-down perspective, we have site topics. You might be thinking to yourself, why is the bottom up on the top and why is the top down on the bottom? I don't know. I didn't do that. What we are going to then do is take those Post-it notes and we are going to start grouping them into like camps. We are not going to worry about labels right now to start out with. Okay? You are just merely trying to see what goes with what other Post-it note, right? You are going to basically say, oh, this goes with that, this goes with that. So here you can see a screenshot of students doing that exercise. We're then going to start putting Post-it notes, I'm looking at the board like I'm supposed to be looking up there. We're then going to put these Post-it notes into groups like you see here, and hopefully we are going to come out with labels down the line so that we can come up with an information architecture. Okay? All right, here we are. So right now we have a victim, Christopher Cornwell. I'm over here in the camera frame, Christopher. Right? Christopher is, we are going to be using his project here for this exercise. So what we have here up on the whiteboard, we don't know which ones are top down and bottom up, right? We just wrote them out and I kind of stuck them out there to kind of just mix it all up. So Chris, what's your project?
So this is an ecotourism website. Basically, it's a blog and travel website. So you know, it's going to be a lot of information. You know, people aren't just going to go there to book travel packages, but that is, you know, one of the end results. It's going to be kind of aimed at, well, so ecotourism in general is aimed at people who are interested in sustainable travel, putting their money into local economies, not, you know, hotel owners or whatever, you know, supporting local farming, and also this particular website is going to be kind of aimed at people with an interest in nature, wildlife, animal sanctuaries and whatnot. So, you know, there might be opportunities for volunteer or that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's mention how the game is played. This is by no means a complete list. This is a starting list. Okay, so as we put groups together, that might lead to other questions. If you have another topic or another question, here I have a Sharpie and more Post-it notes. Okay. We also may split some things in two. We also may throw things out. So here's how it goes. I'll start. This is easy. Contact info and about contact go together. I'm going to say about gets crossed out. Because about typically is a label that other things might go into. So let's talk about the about for a section. Is there a history? Is there a mission? Let's pretend there is.
I think it's just to support local economies wherever you're going to.
Okay. History.
Yeah.
In other words, that's a hole that I see. All right. What else? Everybody else, what do you think goes together? Don't be shy.
All the countries go together?
Yeah, that's one of the earliest ones that we see. Right here, we have a list of countries. Why do we have a list of countries?
Well, it's so you can, like I said, because it's not just about the travel, it's also about the information. So you can kind of click on the continent and it pulls up any blog posts pertaining to that, any information that might pertain to that.
So any, let's just, like I said, pull these out. In other words, the aim at this point in time is strictly to start putting things together.
Australia and whatnot. There's a New Zealand and a New Guinea and all that kind of stuff.
I'm just not flying their airlines, that's all I'm saying.
I left Antarctica out.
Have you ever flown Oceania Airlines though?
No.
No.
You'll get lost.
Okay.
Okay, so this right here then, Asia, could be, we could label this destinations at this point in time, right? This might be a premature labeling system though, because are we then, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here a lot. So kind of what I'm doing is we're saying these all go together, right? Countries all go together. But why is that funny? He's doing his job, you guys. I mean, you guys should be coming up here and putting stuff together too, right? So right now, if these are all countries, right? Are these all countries that can be traveled to? Is that the point of this business?
Yeah, not necessarily, but probably.
But close. That's why I say destinations at this point in time could be a label.
If I wrote up a question, just pop it on the board?
Yes. So if you have another question that you don't think is answered here, travel insurance, there we go.
So it's
Those are continents.
So that's a better way to write it. There was like a quality assurance in the event of an emergency.
So let's put travel insurance, put that with it. Now you see what I'm
I
saying.
think safety would
Yes.
be sort
I
of
think
top level.
yes.
So this one's specifically preparation, so like what kind of vaccines might be needed or what
It
you
might
might
be
do.
a bit foggy on
Should
the
this-
level
should
end.
this Safety
Vaccine.
safety prep like vaccination.
Do you think that goes with this?
That's the question.
Quality assurance, that's what I'm saying. Do you think it goes with it?
Yeah.
For the time being, here's what we can do. Let's start putting things together and evaluating whether they go together and why.
Well, on a serious note, isn't this deceiving?
I think so. Well, and just, there would, these would lead to maybe countries, who knows?
It was the white privilege in me, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's deceiving.
I know.
I'm going to Africa. Okay, that's cool. Where you going in Africa?
Yeah, I know. Okay,
Chris.
Wouldn't travel insurance, the safety, everything all go underneath planning as a general rule?
Well, that was what
Planning.
that trip preparation.
Preparation,
Right.
travel.
Yes.
possible. Again, right now, we're trying to, again, because what we're trying to do, if I see if it's gonna end up on the board here, right now, right, so if we have the home page, right now, we are strictly just trying to get things in the main categories, right? Then it comes beyond that. So let's say right now we have a main category, 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 right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then possibly like this one, history and mission. Let's just call this out for demo purposes.
Any volunteer opportunities?
About, right? Because then now, let's say it like this, about and contact are always going to be in your navigational scheme. Okay, so we can start there. So if we say history and mission, then if we say about, subpages would be
Very well.
history, mission. We can say contact. Then the rest of the meat and potatoes are really getting the rest of the navigation items in there. Why this equals, yeah, exactly. Why us? Testimonial. Well, so let's get grab that travel tips. Grab the one over here, Sherrod. Travel tips. Where? Well, do we necessarily know that travel tips is a main category?
No.
I think travel tips would go under planning.
Planning.
That one right above you.
Yeah, maybe.
So does the question?
What is it?
So move out of the
I'm
way of the
sorry.
camera. So the question then becomes travel tips.
So
Does hold on. Does this go with things like travel insurance, safety prep, visas, cancellation policy? You think it does?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's put that in there.
Well, and keep
I
in
was
mind,
thinking like,
that this doesn't all necessarily pertain to a trip that someone's going on. This could just be general research for any potential trip.
Okay. Say that. Take the floor. Say that a little bit louder.
It's important to remember that this isn't all based around selling packages. Most of the people going to the website aren't going to be buying a travel package. They're just going to be there to research how they can travel better.
Okay. So let me ask this. What's this company's business model? Then how do they make money?
Well, in the end, ideally selling
Selling packages.
but also through affiliates, which is up here somewhere.
Okay.
Whether it's kickbacks from product reviews.
Affiliates. Put it somewhere.
You're doing content?
That would be a booking.
About?
I'd say about.
It's more of a top level business.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this cluster. Stand back for a second.
price.
Okay. Let's take a look at this
Book a
cluster.
trip.
Can I contribute? Volunteer opportunities, career opportunities, affiliates. Do all these kind of go together?
Kinda, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of category are we looking at here possibly?
Business.
Business, right?
Participation.
Participation, get involved,
Yeah, get involved.
Join us.
join us.
Well, join us to me implies that you want to like be an end customer, an end user in my package. Get involved implies you want to work for the company and volunteer for the company.
So let's just say get involved, join us, right?
Okay.
Again, remember in that Princeton PDF, the labels weren't concrete. Then what we have to do later on is reevaluate these as cluster groups. And does the label make sense?
One other thing I want to point out about the volunteer opportunities, it's actually not volunteer opportunities for this company. It's like someone who's like, I want to go volunteer for this place over in Borneo that works with orangutans. So
Volunteerism, okay.
It's more, how can I?
Right, so it's
Sure.
not.
Yeah.
this is more
Join us.
setting people up
Right.
with those volunteer organizations.
So that typically could go under a cluster called get involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Or resources.
Volunteerism, I needed a
Okay.
second one.
So
Did you just make that word up?
No, I think salon did.
location, so this is like what locations do you serve?
Well, I think what they were asking is where is this business
The
located?
headquarters.
Oh, where is this
That
business
was just
located?
The about,
Yeah.
the
Doesn't
about.
necessarily
That's
apply
about.
because there's probably not going to be a storefront, so there wouldn't.
Contact.
I'm gonna put that under contact.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I need to figure out where like office locations are globally, let's say that this company grows to the point where they have multiple offices all over the world, we're gonna have to have a location list, which typically goes under the contact page.
Oh, social media.
Merch, books published, materials. So let's take a look at some of these other, custom package.
Well, the custom package is for the,
And then social
we would think
media,
for traveling.
Yeah, and
so-
those would all be on the home
That's
page.
right.
Well,
It's still a purchase.
Yeah, but. I
Boat
think it's
travel,
a little bit
travel
different.
packages.
T-shirt isn't the same thing as a travel package.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have them, well, maybe you would,
That's what yeah. Not sure.
on some destinations.
Sorry.
Right.
What can I get for my budget?
I'm not sure what parts of this is about. Well, no, that would be a kind of-
So
Oh, yeah.
what I'm doing here, right? So we have, again, let's revisit the, okay, I forgot about that. We have okay, no.
Travel.
So
Travel.
Planning your trip?
your trip, packages, possibly.
Now, see, your trip kind of implies a specific trip, but travel tips might just be like, oh, hey, you can roll your shirts up like this in your bag to save space. You know, any
Sounds like a sub, maybe it's sub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like, hey, protect your identity by getting this.
How
little
else would
sleeve for
you-
your
so-
passport that-
Then let's say it like this. Do you agree that all of these topics go together?
I kind of think that's split.
Where?
To be honest, because I feel like it's split between preparing for a specific trip, so like travel insurance, you know, safety prep, what vaccinations do I need, is the equipment provided? Those all.
So therefore, on that, let's say those go into your trip, right?
Sure.
Take out the ones that don't belong, please. And put them into their own can. So let's, how about this? Can we decide that about contact is legit? Packages, legit as a group? And your trip? Yeah?
Yeah.
So about. Packages. Trip. Destinations. Get involved. We'll put contact way over here. Am I still on the screen?
There it is.
Okay.
Why do you separate trips and packages? Isn't a package trip, really?
Well, packages would be kind of what trips are available in your trip that you plan for the trip that you do.
I think packages could be a sub,
Yeah.
sub menu item under packages.
I
Or vice versa.
I think it's granularity.
So, wait, hold on. Al,
Yeah, so your trip could be the header and your package would be the sub menu, or the other way around.
what's good about that? What's bad about that? Think
Um,
flat versus deep hierarchies.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but your tertiary is gonna appear, right? That's your third level.
I would say your trip and packages should be separate, and here's why. Again, packages, right, are pre-formatted. We'll send you on this trip,
It's just like, hey, we've got these things coming up.
Right.
spent 8 days
Okay.
in Borneo.
right? Then your trip, well, how to get ready and tips, you know, do you need to pack bug spray and what diseases are in, et cetera, right? I think those are two distinct things that should be highly visible in the main navigation. That's just me.
Well,
I think
packages,
travel tips is a higher level.
Not if you're trying to sell me something, it's not.
Yeah, packages.
So say it
are
again,
planted.
say it again, hold on.
They were trying to sell something?
You said tips, say what you, hold on,
I
say what you said
think,
again.
personally, I think travel tips is a higher level than your trip. Your
So you're
trip
saying
is
that
just
this could be sort of an
anyone's trip.
advice
Yeah.
column
Advice
kind of
column.
thing?
I actually,
Yeah.
I totally agree,
Preparation.
because I think your trip
Trip
would be a
preparation.
sub-level underneath packages.
Yeah.
But
Or,
there's crossover because there's not gonna be anything in your specific trip that probably doesn't relate to a general preparation category.
well, like what if you're going somewhere where you need malaria medicine?
Well,
Right.
but I mean, in the general one, you would have immunizations, and then you would have specific for the individual trip, you would say which ones you need. Actually, you'd have a link to the NIH, but.
Yeah, I mean,
the top.
You know, the information that you get in your trip and the information in travel tips, there would definitely be a lot of crossover there. You know, either way you look at it. I feel like your trip just kind of consolidates that information that you need to know for an upcoming trip.
You mentioned that packages would be something that would be like maybe currently on the calendar destinations that are actually.
There would be like a pre-planned tour, where it's like, hey, we're doing this trip, you know, this is how much the tickets are.
A group of people.
It would be a group of people,
So-
it would probably be guided at least to some degree for separate
Let's-
pieces.
What about this cluster right here? Your list, packing, planning, travel tips. This is all tips?
Yeah, I
It's all
feel like
tips,
that all
too.
kind of goes under travel tips, yeah.
So, here's what I'm saying. This is the point of this whole exercise, right? So, if you saw this website and you then saw the navigation about, packages, your trip, destinations, get involved,
I might change packages to itineraries,
okay,
just because I think it's more clear.
okay.
We're still putting stickers on the board.
You can if you want, but let me, I want to get to this point because we're, have time constraints. So, about packages or itineraries, right? Some kind of I buy a whatever.
Mhm.
Your trip, right? So this is like planning your trip, right? Now, this might be too long of a title, but we'll just leave it long for right now. Then destinations, get involved, travel tips, contact, okay? Do you feel like if you went to this website and you saw this as a main navigation structure, that it would make sense to you what's under there? Sherrod, you're saying no.
Because I'm looking at trip, and if I'm playing the trip, and then it says packages,
Yeah,
I'm going from there.
I feel like this almost needs
Those
to be
relate.
separate.
What if-
That's just like packages,
That's what I
like you
think
just
too.
said.
That's what you're thinking?
I was thinking the same.
All right, so packages, itinerary,
Now, that being said, you know, some of that, you know, if you book a package, obviously it's gonna throw information at you that you need to know about that, but some of that same information, you know, might be.
Okay. so here's the challenge that's left then, right? If we've got a good cluster start, now it just needs to be refined in, I wish I could Command Z and leave that back up there, right? So, yeah, it's in the video. Rewind the video, you guys, to see what I had written right there that I erased. But overall, you're well on your way to then having a useful information architecture. There's always going to be arguing, pros and cons, back and forth, what do you think? But in terms of a top-down perspective and a user question perspective, do you feel like, wow, this gives me the art and science of, oh, this is how you do an information architecture? Whether you, Sherrod, whether you agree with it or not, right? Does that make sense? So therefore, you guys in this class, this is now the exercise. So what you should have been doing in this class today is, and there was some misunderstanding, all of you should have spent 15 minutes having the other 3 people ask you user questions and writing them down in a Google Doc or on a piece of paper. All of you, if you took Web 105, have that top-down exercise. If you don't, if you have not done Web 105 and you don't have that top-down exercise, like you, right, what you need to do is just go take a look at competitor websites and see what their destination pages are and what their categories are to kind of influence you, okay? You need to then take both top-down, bottom-up, write up a shitload of Post-its like this, and I would suggest that you guys, as groups that you just made this coming week, get together in the rooms over there and perform this exercise that we just did as a group for everybody's information architecture. Because you're then going to have to write this up as a high-fidelity information architecture, document your approach here. Oh, watch live now, Premium Design Works. I just got a notification about that. Okay. So for this, I'm going to take a nice whiteboard photo.
Want me to back up?
Yeah,
Okay.
which I will post to my site. Okay. Does that make sense? Now, coming from Web 105, remember how I said this is part 2 of Web 105, right? Is this interesting? Is this enlightening? This is how it goes. This is a good strategy to do this, right?
Excellent.
Because then you have it here to argue in this low fidelity world. So kind of what we're doing right now is we are doing low fidelity user testing with a focus group. Right. Just like we did, you saw paper prototyping with Sharpies and an interface. This is low fidelity prototype testing for an information architecture. All right, those of you that weren't here, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Glenn, if you're watching,